What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky? What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky? Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky. I was born to succeed, not to be a spoke in the wheel. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train. I'm headed for the horizon where success is no doubt. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky? What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky? Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of What's Holding You Back. My name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network, and so do we speak. I see. Who is that?
I'm Christine Allen from Clear Ambitions and Mentorship and Speakers. Happy Wednesday to all the viewers on What's Holding You Back.
Yes, Christine. So good to see you. How are you?
Absolutely great. I'm so happy. Last week, the conversation, you held it down. Kudos to you. Thumbs up. I know everyone in the chat had a great time last week as well. So I said this week, I can't miss the train.
All right. So good to have you, Christine. Welcome back. Thank you so much. So yes, we're going to have a wonderful discussion today as we're going to be talking about, do you have something to prove?
Wow.
Yes, that is going to be a very introspective conversation that we're going to have within ourselves as we're going to take a deeper look within ourselves and try to really figure out, do we truly have something to prove? Or is that just a figment of our imagination? So yes, that's going to be the topic of discussion for today. And we are looking forward to having that conversation with you all this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where in the world you are watching us from. We are so glad to have you with us. So as you're jumping on board, please leave us a comment in the chat. We would love to welcome you and acknowledge you as being a part of the broadcast this afternoon. I see one comment coming in already. Yes, we have our one and only Pastor Fred. God bless you, sir. How are you? And thank you for joining us here on What's Holding You Back.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Pastor Fred. Hello to you. We have a conversation ahead, and I'm just, this is, we're going to ask at the end of the broadcast, what inspires you? What do you have to prove? Do you have something to prove? What a question. It's definitely one of the components, some mindsets that can hold someone back.
It can. It definitely can. So yes, we want to have a very interactive conversation this afternoon. So please, by all means, put your comments in the chat as we're going to get into our topic of conversation for today in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we want to do a brief recap of the broadcast from last week. And we had on a very special guest, and that was our brother Artis Norvell. And he is one that helps others with getting funding, whether that be for personal funding or for business funding. And also he helps with credit restoration. So if you missed the broadcast last week, we want to encourage you to go back to our YouTube channel, our new YouTube channel, I should say, which is What's Holding You Back Now. And yes, please review that broadcast from last week. He left a lot of golden nuggets. And he is already helping some people to get that funding in which they are needing. So yes, that was a wonderful conversation we had last week, Christine.
It's so well needed. And also, I can't wait for Yvette to come on as well from the nutrition, Bold Nutrition. She actually has a lot to give, a lot to offer clients as well. And I was advertising Godware, so
Okay,
hopefully we get
nice.
some more orders for Godware. Yes,
Yes, as we're getting into the colder months now, the colder season, yeah, time to put away the t-shirts and bring out the sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff.
that's right. That's right. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, getting into today's conversation now, if you're new to What's Holding You Back, it's just after 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want to welcome to everyone across the globe who's watching. This is an interactive conversation. We have about 20 to 30 minutes of food for thought. Sometimes you get homework, sometimes you don't. So, we'll see
Yeah.
how it goes today on your thermometer as we dive into, do you have something to prove?
Hmm. All right. Well stated. So, yes, as jumping on board, please like and share the broadcast, and we want to share it out with the masses. So, as we always like to do here on What's Holding You Back, we always like to start off with a quote of inspiration that is appropriate for our topic for today. And for today's topic, which is going to be do you have something to prove? We found something, a nice quote that is, woo, from many would say the best book ever written. And
Oh,
that quote is, Christine, if you will.
oh my, one of
Mm,
my favorite
yes.
books to read. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
Unto
Second
who?
Timothy, unto God.
Okay.
Now
Okay.
I always hear
Mhm.
study thyself to be approved.
Yes.
But here we are, unto God. Study to
Yes.
show thyself approved
Yes.
unto God. Second Timothy 2, verse 15.
Yes. So, yes, this scripture right here says it all when it comes to stating if we have something to prove. If we do have something to prove, it will be to our heavenly creator. But we're not here to try to influence anyone's train of thoughts. We just want to bring a conversation, bring some things to light. And I'm quite sure that each and every one of us, at some point in time in our lives, we all had something to prove. Whether we feel that same way now, that's totally up to you. Everyone has their own life to live, their own decisions to make, and their own way of doing things. But we're just going to have a conversation talking about, do you have something to prove? All right. So, with that being said, let us go a little deeper into our conversation for today. So, hold on. We have a couple of comments come in. Okay. All right. So Pastor Fred says, no, I don't have anything to prove to anyone but unto God. Yes, sir, man of God. You said it right there. Mm, totally
So
in agreement with that.
I wanted to let's define and
Yeah.
let's distinction, right? To be
Hmm.
distinct and define. When you have something that's called a goal,
Yes.
right? You want to reach that goal. So is that how is that separate and apart from having something to prove? You have a goal and you want to
Mm,
reach that goal. So if some folks might be going hard at whatever it is they're doing diligently, right?
right.
They they're some folks will say, You know what? I want to run a marathon. I want to tick that on my bucket list. I actually did the marathon."
Hmm.
Is that now that's a personal goal, a personal aspiration? What's the difference between that and having something to prove?
All right. So it's a real fine line, but a goal is trying to meet an objective,
Mm-hmm.
whereas proving something, you're trying to solidify or make that goal or dream become a reality. So it's a slight little difference there. So I would say when it comes to talking about proving something or a goal, proving something you have to prove to yourself or to someone else. A
Mm-hmm.
goal is just a destination point, a place that we would like to be or like to achieve. So I would say that's where the difference comes in.
Where okay, so having to to prove something, would we add that it would be maybe the intent is sometimes that comes with a little bit of bitterness, or I want to show them kind of an attitude, or someone challenged you or said you see you couldn't do something at some point in time and you had something to prove. You want to prove to them that you can do it. Now, asking the question, if you're going at it that hard for someone to notice, to say,
Mhm.
hey, what do you have to prove? That means maybe you're putting yourself in out of convenience. You're doing like I'm maybe putting other folks out of convenience just to get something done, to provoke the question, what do you have to prove?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Wow.
true. But I would say you only have to prove it to yourself and prove it unto your creator. Elder Moncrief, blessings, sir. Good to have you with us. Thanks for joining. All right, so let us get a little deeper into the conversation. Okay, we have some comments coming in. All right, keep them coming, keep them coming. Okay, is this base of spirituality or in the natural?
In that,
What do you say, Christine?
the natural.
Okay, all right. Yes. Yes, we're going to stick with the natural in the secular world. Yes. So we're talking about, do you have something to prove? Meaning, do you feel as if you have something to prove to others, or do
Mm-hmm.
you have to feel like you have to prove something to yourself? And like I stated earlier in the discussion, at some point in time in our lives, especially for me when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
we were young, ambitious. We had a lot of goals, dreams, and desires, a lot of things that we wanted to prove to the world and to ourselves as well. But we were always out there trying to make a name for ourselves. So we had a lot to prove, right? But now I'm at a different phase in my life where I don't feel like I have anything to prove because I am confident. I am, how should I say, more grounded in the place where I am now. So I don't feel like I have to prove myself to anyone else, but still I have to prove myself unto God. But that is the place in which I'm in. So like I said, everyone's going to be different. So there's no right or wrong answers to this. We just want to have you express yourself and tell us how you feel about your situation. Do you feel like you have anything to prove?
And I'd like to add to that in regards to the root of, you know, the reason why someone who has something to prove, once more, in my experience, it's always been in the root of bitterness, challenge. And at the end of the day, I've seen where folks have released a lot of resources to prove what the result says. Okay, you made it across the finish line, but what did you have to sacrifice to
Mm-hmm.
prove? And so again, the root of it comes from a lot of times unforgiveness, or you have to, like you said, younger immature versions of ourselves had to prove to the world that you had this and you had that and you can do it. But what's the motive behind it is really important.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. All right. And Elder Moncrief writes in another comment, he says, if you're confident in who you are, then it shouldn't have anything to prove. Just do what you are confident in doing. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's the point right there. Yeah.
Well said, well said.
Yes, absolutely. So, yes, love that. Love that. So, I'm going to pull up a couple of slides and we're going to talk about a couple more things in regards to this conversation in which we're having now. We have one more comment coming in. Okay, Evangelist Doreen, blessings, my sis. God bless you. All right, and she says, so true. Too much work trying to get approval of someone. It's a competition, and I am in no competition mode with no one. That's right. Yes, we are not in competition with anyone. We are confident in who we are and whose we are. So, we have, you know, like the scripture said, point ourselves so that we are approved by God and unto God. So that is the state of being in which we are in. All right, so now we're looking at this slide here. So let's go in a little deeper. I'm going to talk about, are you one that has self doubt? Are you trying to prove yourself for one to find that inspiration, or is it out of insecurity? Right? So, like I said, when we were in our younger years, in our early teens and 20s and 30s, we were trying to find our place in the world. We all had a lot to prove, because we didn't have a mark in the world. We were just trying to figure things out for ourselves. So we had a lot of self doubt. We didn't know what we were capable of doing. So along that road and trying to get to where we are now, we had to prove ourselves. So a lot of time, especially in school, we were in that proving grounds, or
Mm.
we had to prove ourselves, or especially in athletic competition, there's always going to be a time in which you have to prove yourself capable of earning that slot or that position. Or even in school, are you capable of passing the test? Are
Mm.
you capable of taking on this position? Are you capable of fulfilling this place at work? So these are terms, or different places in life in which at some point in time, like I said, we all had to prove ourselves at some point in time. But now I no longer feel like I have to prove myself, because I know who I am. So I don't feel like I have to, continue treading on that route anymore.
It's really when you talk about the psychology,
Hmm.
um, and the mindset behind self doubt, and
Hmm.
that, and the root starts very much so in a younger age. I've seen where folks would move from one country to another country, and then the sayonara would be, "Oh, you'll never make it over there." So
Right.
to continue to prove yourself that yes, I've made it, and um, you know, take out loans. I've seen, where folks put themselves in debt to prove themselves,
Oh
uh,
yes.
hmm that they can do it, and to others. And it's just a spiral, because when the bottom falls out of the mountain of debt, or you can only
Hmm.
go so far, where you people will say, well, you're not really, how you don't make that much as you said you did, this is not the kind of job that you have, all these things to prove yourself. And all has you're very, you're very right, it goes out to self-doubt when you doubt yourself. And
That's
could I
right.
submit that when you have self-doubt, if you have low self-esteem, it's
Hmm.
it's actually a spiritual crisis. And you doubt yourself, are you doubting God?
Yeah, yes, that's a good question.
Are you
Yes,
are you doubting what God can do in you and through you?
that's right.
So what you have to prove, um, that goes back to Second Timothy. You're gonna have to prove God in your
Yes,
life.
every time.
That this, what, every time I come on to what's holding you back, if someone's really hearing us tonight, and you're thinking that you have to prove something, at the risk of your health,
Hmm.
sometimes taking on three jobs to keep up to what you're keeping up with. And
Right.
without your health, there is no wealth. That's what I heard somewhere. You've heard that before?
Yes,
Your health is your wealth.
true word. Absolutely.
So people are killing themselves with three jobs, and all
Hmm.
kinds of things to keep up with who and to prove what.
Right.
All you have to do is prove God. Go back to the scriptures. It says in Second Timothy, and we're really intentional about what's holding you back, because you have to think about it, the root, the cause, the why. You see all those question marks? Why?
Hmm.
What's your why? What's going on?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. So as we go in a little deeper now, so I'm going to ask you guys, what was your first time that you can recollect in which you had to prove yourself?
Hmm.
Yes. take a little minute to meditate on that for a minute. I'm going to pop up a couple more comments as they're coming in.
Mhm.
Oh, Christine, your sister is with us.
Oh,
Yvette from Bold Nutritions.
hi, Yvette.
Yes, Christine was just calling you out. So, yes, you are here. Blessings, my sis. Good to have you.
Awesome, awesome,
Right.
awesome.
Elder Moncrief says, self-doubt. Persons is a person who don't believe the confidence in them to do what is supposed to be done. Absolutely, my brother. Yes,
Well said,
sir. That
Elder.
is it. All right.
It's
Pastor
awesome.
Fred says, from that perspective, when we were much younger and ignorant, yes, this is true, we tried to prove ourselves to our friends. Yes, yes, we all did. Our friends, family members, and even teachers. Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And professors to show them that we can do what they say we couldn't do.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Prove them wrong. Yes, love that, Pastor. And it's so true. It's so true. Like I said, each and every one of us, at some point in time in our lives, we have to prove something to someone in some manner, facet, or shape. It had to be done. It was inevitable. It's just, the peer pressure that we grow up with. And, we have to prove ourselves. So I'm asking you now, what was the first time that you can recollect that you had to prove yourself, whether that be to your parents, your siblings, friends, family members, whatever the case may be? So I'm going to share one quick story with you.
Okay.
So when I was a little boy, I probably was 4 or 5, somewhere in that age group. I don't know how I remember this, but I do actually. And I can recall that my mom, she had to go to work. So she had to take me to daycare. And this was going to be my first time away from home in an unfamiliar setting. And, she was asking me, you going to be all right? You going to be a good boy? I'm like, yeah, mom, I'm going to be good. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So she took me in the car and she took me out the car to take me over to the daycare center. Bunch of kids
Mhm.
there. So as I'm walking up the steps to go into the daycare, oh, I just flipped out and I started crying. The waterfalls coming down. I was throwing a tantrum. I was like, no, mommy, no.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not going in. And he was like, you have to. I got to go to work. And, the instructor, they had to, drag me inside. So my mom was
Mhm.
to go off to work. I was like, what time you getting off? She was like, 3 o'clock. I'll be here at 4. I said, okay. And I just stood by the door the whole time.
Oh.
But yeah, that was just one of those things where I failed that test miserably because I told my mom, yeah, I'm going to be fine. But come to find out, failed that test. I didn't
Oh,
prove myself. So, yes, so that is just a part of it.
it's part of it.
Mhm.
Wow, what a story. You thought you could do it, but you couldn't. The
Yeah,
DJ competition
yeah, yeah.
back in 1985. Wow,
Yes.
and that was a real DJ with the turntables, I'm sure.
Right, right, right.
Quick reflexes. It wasn't any AI
Mhm.
DJs or anything like that with laptops. It was actually vinyl. I'm sure, Elder.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yes, I'm sure there's a
Back in
vinyl.
the time, yes.
Hmm. Hmm. So
Mhm.
that was awesome.
All right. Okay. Sister Yvette says, oh, hey, Lady Christine. Okay, blessing says, and Evangelist says, okay, here we go. When I was in college, my comp teacher
Mhm.
told me I will never pass her English class. Wow.
Oh,
What
wow.
a thing to say to a child. And so many teachers are guilty of doing that. So I proved her wrong. She gave
Hmm.
me a minus final grade. Wow.
How
This
nice.
is a teacher who challenged me. So
Oh,
yes, you proved yourself thoroughly with shining colors. So yes, God bless you, evangelist, and thank you so much for sharing that. But yeah, it just goes to show,
Mhm.
we all had proving grounds and a proving season in our lives if we're not still going through it now. But yeah, it's just a part of life that
Oh gosh, that's true. Yes, it is part of life.
it is.
Again, going out of your way to prove something, if it's coming
Mhm.
from a dark place of revenge, a dark place, you have to release that. You have to let that go.
Definitely.
Yeah, have that conversation with yourself. Breaking free from expectations, the
Mm,
weight of trying to prove yourself.
yes, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when it comes to trying to prove things unto others. So that's why we have to find ourselves, identify with who we are, and
Yep.
not put that pressure on ourselves trying to prove things to other people. It's not necessary. Once you become confident in who
Mm-hmm.
you are competent in what you are doing, then
Mm-hmm.
you will never have to feel that pressure of having to prove yourself to others because you know within yourself what you're capable of doing, and you shall excel at doing so. All right, so this next slide here, I love this here. So now when it comes to proving yourself, when we
Mm-hmm.
talk about athletes, especially boxers, they
Mm-hmm.
always have to prove themselves as worthy challengers or even champions because someone is always looking to take you on for the next fight.
Right.
So it's never going to end
Mm-hmm.
until you reach that championship level. And then you say, I've beaten everybody out there. I don't have anything else to prove, right?
Yep.
You hear that from the great boxers out there, especially like the
Absolutely.
greatest, Muhammad Ali. He
Yeah.
said, I don't have anything else to prove. I'm the greatest. And it
And
came and manifested itself
that's
because
it.
he knew who he was. He didn't have to prove anything to anybody else once he became champion. But
Mm-hmm.
before that, yes, he had a lot to prove. He was a big mouth kid from Louisville, Kentucky. They call him the
Oh,
Louisville Lip, right?
really?
Yes, everybody doubted him. No, you're not going to beat Sonny Liston, the big bear. The bear going to kill you. And what did he do? He took the title from Sonny Liston
Wow.
and beat him again in the rematch. And
Mm-hmm.
went on to become the greatest boxer in history. So, yes, we all have approving grounds in which we must go through, but we should not stay in that place.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so last slide, talking about proving yourself and getting up that hill, that momentous hill, when
Mm-hmm.
all that weight is coming down on you. Can you do it? Look at the ant there, pushing a rock that's probably 10 to 20 times its weight.
Yeah.
But you know what it's going to do? It's going to push it up that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to
Right.
complete.
That's right.
Yes, yes. And that's what you're going to do in life as well. But you have to have that inner belief, that faith, that confidence within yourself that I can do this. I shall prevail.
Yes.
I am what? I am a child of God, and He shall see me through it. So, yes,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to believe and have that faith. And then all of those things in which you aspire to do in life, they will start to manifest themselves.
As you push beyond your, what does it
Mm.
say actually?
Push beyond your limits. Yes.
Push beyond your limits. Now, pushing beyond your limits, and is that a personal best, would you say?
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
You know, it's it's sometimes when you have a situation where, and again, the reason I believe we have this topic on, you know, what do you have to prove as it pertains to what's holding you back? Again, you have to weigh the cost. You have to measure the cost of what you're doing against your ultimate goals, your achievements. Is what you're doing is costing you more than more than it's worth? Are you cutting off your nose to spite your face? What do you have to prove?
Mm.
So let's step back and look at what you're doing. You could be, tripping over your own foot. You could be the one holding yourself back by putting all this energy into a certain area. So the question, what do you have to prove, is very, very much so entwined with what's holding you back.
Yes, yes, very much so, very
Mhm.
much so. So Yvette Bolden says, Brother Rob, I had the same experience. And I followed the teacher all around the classroom, clinging to her coattail.
Oh.
Yes, my sis, I feel your pain. Yes, we both know what that's like, huh? Mm,
Mm-hmm.
hmm.
That's good.
Yes, and Elder Moncrief says he had to prove, I'm not reading that, I guess he says
I
himself.
had to prove when he came out of prison that he
Oh,
was
right, right. Talking
a
about
champion.
Muhammad Ali. Okay. And he would be champion again. Yes, you are so right, my brother. Yes, so right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that because yeah, he spent a few years in jail because he refused to be inducted into the army and fight in the world war in Vietnam. So they
Yes, that's
stripped
right.
him of his title. But
Mhm.
once he got out of jail, out of prison, I should say, he regained his title and had one of the greatest fights with Smoking Joe Frazier. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, wow. Yeah. That was amazing. Yes. So,
Wow.
yes, so many times in life, we have to prove ourselves, but we should all aspire to get to a place in life where we no longer feel like we have to prove ourselves because
Mm,
we've reached that pinnacle. I'm at a place now, like,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's what, in your 40s, 50s?
I would say when I got to my 50s that I felt like I no longer had to prove myself. Yeah. But everybody's different, you know.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. And I've met some young folks in their 20s that feel they don't need to prove to anything to
That's
anyone.
right. That's
And
right.
that's like wow, that's a it's
It
a
is.
wow moment to me to have to speak to young folks that just like, I'm gonna do me. I don't have to prove anything to anyone.
Hmm.
So we kind of have, okay, so what's your goal? What's your aspirations? Um, and see if they're ambitious enough to keep up some sort of personal thermometer, right? Personal
Hmm.
level of achievement, and not just relax. Because I think it comes with the age, comes with the natural order of things, if you will, where you're building in your 20s, right? You're building in your 20s, 30s, and so forth. And there's certain expectations, society and the world on a whole, right? So if you come to a point in your life where you no longer have to prove anything, I hope that it's a point in your life where you have achieved
Of
everything.
course. You have to. You have to
Uh,
be. Yes.
So if
Yes.
you have achieved your goals and you're now maybe mentoring, coaching,
Mm. Yeah.
because that's the next level of where to distribute your energy. You have your expertise now, you have your experience, right, Rob?
Yeah.
So
I'll share
they
it with others. Hmm.
absolutely, absolutely. We have folks that are looking at clips of Muhammad Ali, young men, and looking at his confidence, whether it be just a lot of lip surface or not, but he absolutely inspired
Yeah. He
generations
backed
of
it up.
women.
He backed it up. Yes.
Okay,
About that.
okay,
Mm.
very much so. So, what are we going to back up on? What's holding you back? You have your business. What do you have to prove on becoming an entrepreneur this year? Was 2025 your year? We have less than 3 months to go until December 31st. Two and
Yeah.
a half months left in 2025. What resolution? What do you have to prove? What do you have to achieve? And
Hmm.
again, the thermometer, the stick that you have to really measure, the why. If you're proving something because you're bitter, you're proving someone because proving something because you have to get back at someone, that's not a healthy place to be in.
No.
Oftentimes you waste resources, money, time, and everything else, without little return. So let's be strategic on what we have to prove. How's
Absolutely. Love
that?
it. Love it, Christine. Love it. Yes. Yes. And I think we can close it off right there. So, yes, we should all aspire to achieve greater things in life. And once we get to a certain
Absolutely.
level, share that knowledge and insight with others and help
Mhm.
them along in their journey so they can get there that much faster. That's
Yes.
what it's all about, spreading love and spreading information so that we
Mhm.
can all grow and strive together. So, yes, we just want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of the broadcast this afternoon. We really did have a very engaging conversation. We had some great comments in which you shared. So, yeah, we just want to keep it coming and keep it growing. So, please, if you guys have not already done so, please subscribe to our new YouTube channel, which is What's Holding You Back Now. And hopefully, there shall be nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing holding you back. Right, Christine?
That's right. And remember, 2 Timothy 2, verse 15, study thyself to be approved to God, unto God. Right? All
Amen.
right. So that's your memory verse. That's your homework for next week on what's holding you back on Wednesday, 6 p.m. We're looking forward to seeing you and a friend. Come on into the chat and have that conversation. It's inspiration with 20 minutes or so of you time. Of you time. This has been about the topic for you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, what do you have to prove? Is there something that you are using your resources? You're using your resources in not in a meaningful way. All right. I'll see you next week. My name is Christine Allen from the Clear Ambitions Mentors and Speakers.
And my name is Rob McCray from this Business Building Network. We thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of What's Holding You Back.
Stumbling blocks and naysayers fade. When you burn with passion, won't be swayed. Every mountain, every mile, cover them all with a smile. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. What's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high.